Hi everyone, my name is Katherine. I'm the librarian for the School of Education, and in this second of 3 videos, we're going to be talking about using legal and education databases to do research for this class. So we're going to be starting on the library's homepage again today. Once we get to the library's homepage, we'll scroll on down to Research Guides and click on Research Guides. This will take us to the list of research guides by subject, and we'll scroll on down to Education. Once we click on Education, we'll see the guides for Autism Studies and just the General Education Guide. And again, the Autism Studies Guide may be helpful to you, but today we're going to be using that Education Guide to really take a look at some of the resources we have. So on this first page of the guide, we have a little bit of information about the guide in the Getting Started box, our most used databases in the School of Education. You have my contact information just in case you did need to email me directly, and then again that link to schedule an appointment with me or give me a phone call. And we also have these other tabs to the side of the guide. And for this class, you'll want to go ahead and click on Special Education. Special education intersects with a lot of different divisions in the School of Education, so you may want to check out some of the other tabs as well, but again, special education is a good place to start. First, we have kind of our most used databases in special education. And right down here in this box, we have our journals and other publications. If you're struggling to find a topic for this assignment or other assignments in this class, you may want to read through a few of the most recent editions of one of these journals to kind of find out what the issues and topics that are being discussed in the scholarship of special education are right now. We do have some recommended resources and helpful websites that you may need to dig into for this class, but our last box on the page actually involves our legal research sources. So if your research does involve finding laws and statutes, as it will in this class, the following resources are going to be the ones that you need to find those laws and statutes in court cases as well. The first of these resources is called, I pronounce it Hein Online. It may be Hien Online. I have absolutely no idea. I've heard it said so many different ways. I'm just going to call it Hein Online because it rhymes. And this is a database that contains the Code of Federal Regulations, the Federal Register, the Congressional Record, which are all great government documents, as well as case law, treaties, and articles from law review journals. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that, and we're just going to check it out. So when we first get to the database, we have a search box right up here. We've got an advanced search, and we've got kind of all the different databases or different kind of divisions of Hein Online that we could browse individually. So if we're only interested in things from the US Code or maybe even the US Presidential Library, we could browse those things individually. But for this assignment, we're going to want to search Hein Online generally. So once you have your topic sort of picked out, what you'll want to do is go ahead and think of the keywords which relate most directly to your topic. So I'm going to be looking for articles about student discipline and special education. And you can see that we could narrow down to the author or title, but since we're doing a general search, we want to just search student discipline and special education in all databases. And we can go ahead and click on the search button. So you can see we have about 1,000 results, and for your internet scavenger hunt assignment, you're going to need to narrow these results down to just things that are found in law journals. So under Collection/Library, we'll come and click on Law Journal Library and narrow down to those 487 documents that fall under the Law Journal Library. So our search will automatically update once we click that box, and we can go ahead and read these articles by going and clicking on the title. So I'm going to scroll through my results, find an article that seems kind of on target to me. This first one, Discipline in the Disabled Students, seems pretty on target. It is from 1998, so it's a bit older, but once I've clicked on the title, we can go ahead and see kind of the outline of this paper, and we can use these arrows to tab through the pages. I often prefer in Hide Online to just download the PDF of this section so I can go ahead and read it in a way that doesn't require me to scroll through pages. And once it's downloaded, I can just go ahead and open it and read through the full article. Back on our page in Hide Online, we also have options to get a permalink to this page. I would absolutely recommend copying permalinks rather than copying any links in the address bar. That's because the links in the address bar are unstable and temporary links, whereas a permalink will always lead me back to this exact page. We also have the option to cite the information on this page, and this is going to give us a database-generated citation for this article. So you'll have to check this against the standards of whatever citation style you're using, but these are usually pretty good. They're a good start, so I would definitely recommend using the citation buttons in databases to get you started on your citations. If you're not finding the kinds of sources that you'd like to find about your topic, you can always use the advanced search to help you narrow down your search a little bit. The text field will make sure that your keywords are in the text. You can always add a field if you'd like more keywords, more sets of keywords in the text. You can also try searching by topic. So if we were to type in special education into topic, it's going to show us only things in that sort of topic range. That can help us narrow as well. This advanced search can get a little bit confusing. So if you are struggling with keywords for your topic or just finding things in law journals about your topic, please do feel free to contact me. I also want us to briefly look at Westlaw Campus Research. So this is as it says, comprehensive database of legal information. It has both state and federal resources. There's this vague little sentence that says, a variety of methods can be used to search. So once we click on Westlaw, we can just enter our search terms up into the search bar. It's defaulting to all federal right now. We can also add all states as well if we'd like to see information about both federal and state law. And we can go ahead and click search. And that's going to give us a lot of different source types. So it looks like we only have 9 sources when we first start out, but if you look over in the view, you can see for cases we have 10,000, for regulations we have 9,000, and we've got all of these sort of different laws, regulations, statutes, and court rules that we can look through if we're looking for specific laws or cases. So back on our research guide, I do want to show you an education-specific database that doesn't relate to law, which may help you find more scholarly research about the topics you're researching. So I'm going to go ahead and click on ERIC. We have ERIC kind of in 2 ways. Via the library. We have it through the government website, eric.gov. You're welcome to just go to eric.gov and do your searching, but we also have ERIC as an EBSCOhost database. The reason I recommend using ERIC in this sort of database format rather than going to eric.gov is that it gives us a lot more options for narrowing our searches right off the bat, whereas eric.gov can be a little too simplified and doesn't really have options for great advanced searching or narrowing our searches. So if we were to come back and type in student discipline and special education, we can go ahead and do our search. You may notice that I'm keeping my multiple word keywords in quotes, so things like student discipline, special education, things like best practices, those will all be in quotes because we want those words to stay together. And I'm separating my keywords with and to show that I want all of those keywords to appear in our search results. So I don't just want student discipline or special education, I want them both together in all results. So you can see that we have 95 results from Eric. We can narrow them using the limiters on the side. So if we only want things that are peer-reviewed, or if we want to limit our dates, or if we even want to come down here and look at the subjects that have been applied to our results, that might also give us some hints for keywords. If you're having trouble structuring your searches with those ands and those quotation marks, back on our research guide under search strategies, we do have some tips and tricks for using those what we call Boolean operators, so and, or, and not, and the quotation marks and parentheses, which can help to either broaden or narrow our search depending on what we're using and how we're using it. If you have questions about this, it's a great time to go ahead and ask a librarian. I can go over this with you really quickly in a way that makes sense. I'd be happy to do that with you one-on-one. I also want to show you one other research guide which may be helpful to you in your research for this class. If we scroll on down to legal studies, you'll find that we have a government information research guide. So I am also the librarian who works most closely with government information. Our history librarian, Jacques Demal, also works very closely with government information, so both of us can help you if you're looking for specific government documents or legislation. So this guide is formatted a little bit differently from our education guide. Our Getting Started box will kind of let you know where each source is, but you might want to come to Find Government Information by Subject. And if we scroll on down to education, you'll see Eric, the government website, and the EBSCOhost version appear. But we also have our U.S. Department of Education, the National Center for Education Statistics, and a page on diversity and opportunity in education. So these all might be very helpful resources for you as you do your research. If you're struggling with using government information, I'm happy to discuss good ways to find either state or federal government information. We do have some Utah state government information as well, but there are many, many, many other sources of government information that aren't listed on this guide, so always feel free to reach out. One thing that I also want to note on this page is that on the home page, the first thing that's linked is the USA.gov website. And if you're just not even sure where you want to look, you can go ahead and use the search box on USA.gov to just search for special education or whatever your topic might be. And you'll see state, federal, and all sorts of other government information sites and documents that can help direct your searching. Okay, those are the basics of using library tools to do legal and education-based research. I'll see you in the next video, and please feel free to reach out if you have any questions.